There are 10 Arsenal players at this year's World Cup. It's World Cup fever, and I thought I'd take a look at 10 of these players that are at the World Cup, and in sort of go in order of how I think they're going to perform for their various different countries. In fact, as a matter of fact, there's actually 12 Arsenal players at the World Cup, because if you count Yoann Djourou, who's actually still an Arsenal player, he's on loan. He's there with Switzerland, but I'm not going to include him because he's on loan. And there's also Bacary Sagna, who's off to probably City, so there's no way I'm including him. Right, I'm going to run down my top 10 now and sort of get a feeling of what sort of World Cup they're going to have. At number 10, Lukas Podolski. Still in the German team. He's been in that German team for quite a long time now. He's probably not going to be a starter. Well, I think he's almost certainly not going to be a starter in the World Cup 11 for Germany, but he's still got a role to play. As we've seen at Arsenal, he's a guy that can come off the bench, he can score goals, and he's a very, very experienced German international. So probably not going to light up the World Cup because he won't start as many games, but will be an important member of the German squad. At number 9, Thomas Vermaelen. The Arsenal captain. He's had a pretty lousy season, really. He hasn't really started a lot of games because of the strength of the partnership of Mertesacker and Koscielny. But for Belgium, he probably will start. He'll probably start in there alongside Vincent Kompany. They'll probably shift Vertonghen from Spurs out to the left. So he's got a big role to play in that Belgian team. And a lot of things are expected of Belgium in this year's World Cup. He's one of the more experienced players in the team. And listen, they're going to have a pretty good defence. Vertonghen, Vermaelen, Vincent Kompany. That is a pretty impressive defence with the goalkeeper Courtois behind him. So it could be that Vermaelen could really establish himself in this World Cup and maybe force his way back into the Arsenal team, or maybe he might come back saying, look how I performed, I want to move. Let's hope he doesn't do that. At number 8, Per Mertesacker. Now listen, he wasn't really a regular in the German team up until this season. He's had such an excellent season for Arsenal that Joachim Löw, the manager of Germany, just cannot ignore him at the moment. And it's probably going to be him and Max Hummels playing in that defence for Germany. Of course, he's a very, very experienced German international. I mean, even before he came to Arsenal, he was a very capped player with over 80 caps for Germany, and he will feature heavily in this. You've seen him at international level. He's done very well for Germany. When England played Germany at Wembley in a recent friendly, he scored a goal and was absolutely solid in defence. Per Mertesacker, expect him to have a good tournament for Germany and expect Germany to be one of the big teams in this World Cup. At number 7, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Now, the only reason I've got him at number 7 and not higher is because he picked up that recent injury against Ecuador, which was so unfortunate. I really feel it for this guy, because if he can get a run of games, not just for England, for Arsenal, I think this guy could develop into being one of the best young English players around. Now, you saw him against Ecuador. He was running the show in that game. In Brazil last year, when we played him in that friendly, he scored that wonder goal. England will be hoping that he can get fit, because if he can get fit, the way he runs at defenders, the way he takes players on, the way he's fearless, he could be a massive, massive weapon for England. But the only thing is, as we know, he's going to be going into the tournament, you know, at best with an injury. That's if he makes it at all. So that's why he's at number 7. But if he can get fit, he could be a major, major player at this year's World Cup. At number 6, Joel Campbell. He's an Arsenal player. He's been on loan, seems to have been on loan forever, but he is an Arsenal player. And he is one of the most important players in the Costa Rican team. Now listen, you saw in the Champions League, when he was playing for Olympiacos, what he'd done to Manchester United. He scored that wonder goal, and his pace and trickery had Manchester United in all sorts of problems. Jagielka, Cahill, Baines, they're going to have to be on their game against this guy. He could possibly be one of the stars, one of those sort of unknown players who comes from nowhere and has a really, really good World Cup. At number 5, Laurent Koscielny. Now listen, this guy to me, probably apart from Vincent Kompany, the best centre-half in the Premier League. He's absolutely brilliant player. Any Arsenal fan who goes to watch them week in, week out will tell you just how good this guy is. His pace, his strength, His recovery when he makes a mistake is brilliant. His tackling, he's just developed into a really, really outstanding defender. And for France, he's going to be a very, very important player for France in the centre half position. Now, I can see this guy's stock really, really going up in this World Cup, because he's going to be on view and a lot of teams are going to realise just how good Laurent Koscielny is. So look for Laurent Koscielny to have a big World Cup for France. At number 4, Santi Cazorla. Now, he'd be higher up in this list if it wasn't for the fact that he plays for Spain. That means to get into the first team, he's got to kick past Xavi, Iniesta, Fabregas, and Koke now they got. I mean, they've just got so many outstanding midfield players. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. But he is in the team. Del Bosque, the manager, does like Cazorla. He likes the fact that he's two-footed, and he's played him a lot in the friendlies. And whereas he probably won't start, they'll probably will start most games with Xavi and Iniesta. Look for Santi Cazorla to figure a lot in matches, and he could be that sort of game-changing player that Spain will be looking to bring on in a lot of games. So Santi Cazorla, again, could be one of the stars. We know from the FA Cup final that he is a player that can step up to the plate in the big games. So look for Cazorla to have a big World Cup. At number 3, Olivier Giroud, sometimes criticised by our fans at Arsenal. I don't know why. He's a top striker. Maybe not the world-class superstars of Aguero's and Suarez and that, but as a team centre-forward player, he's excellent. You supply the guy and he will bury the ball. He'll give defenders all kinds of problems, and you will see in this World Cup that he is a very, very important player for the French national team. On a lot of occasions, he keeps Benzema out of the team. Scored a lot of goals in qualifying, has been a very integral part of the French team, and I expect him to have a very, very good World Cup. Olivier Giroud, number 3 for France. At number 2, it's his time. It's your time. And I'm talking about Jack Wilshere. It's your time to step up. Now, if he does step up, if he can get beyond the amount of injuries that he's had, if he can figure in that England team as a regular in this World Cup, I truly believe that he can become one of the stars of this World Cup. Jack Wilshere's got everything, but he just doesn't seem to stay fit long enough to show everybody. Let's hope he can do that in this World Cup, that he can stay fit and he can show the world just how good he is. He could emerge from this World Cup as one of the best young midfielders in the world. So Jack Wilshere, this is your stage. This is the World Cup. Do it for England. The player that I think will be the most important player for his team, that will probably be, among all the Arsenal players, will probably be the player that will be the biggest star in the World Cup, is Mesut Ozil. And I'm putting him at the number 1 spot. Considered by many to be in the top 10 best players in the world. For Germany, he's vital. He creates. He creates the dynamism. He does the passing. He scores goals. He's just such an important player. I mean, our important player would be, say, I don't know, Gerrard. For Germany, it's Mesut Ozil. He is their go-to player. And they're going to be expecting Mesut Ozil to step up in this tournament. And I'm hoping that he does. I'm hoping that he can be one of the stars of the tournament, and then he can carry that form through to next season when he's playing for Arsenal. So we don't even be thinking about Cesc Fabregas and players like this, because we've got Mesut Ozil. So Mesut Ozil, this is your chance to be one of the stars, to cement yourself as one of the best players around in the world and be one of the stars of this World Cup. Mesut Ozil at number 1.